Here is an introduction to the excretory system and its organs. We will first go over the main functions of the system. The first function is collecting water and filtering body fluids. The second is removing and concentrating waste products from body fluids and returning other substances to body fluids as necessary for homeostasis. And the third and final function is eliminating excretory products from the body. The main organs of the excretory system include the kidneys, large intestine, liver, skin, and lungs. Excretion is the process of removing waste and excess water from the body, one of which happens through urination, the other through the digestive passageway. The kidney's main function is to filter blood and form urine, and it is also the main organ of the system. The large intestine is in charge of moving solid waste outside of the body. The liver plays an important role in breaking down excess amino acids and toxins in the blood. The skin eliminates excess water and salts within sweat. And finally, the lungs exhale water vapor and carbon dioxide. The excretory system plays a very important role in maintaining homeostasis within the body. For example, when the body is low on water, the antidiuretic hormone from the hypothalamus stimulates the kidneys to produce more concentrated urine. This is why when you are dehydrated, your urine is a little bit darker in color and smells different. This just goes to show how important the excretory system really is to our body functioning on a daily basis.
26 million people have it, and millions more are expected to get it. But the truth is, most of us could avoid the predominant form of diabetes.
There's different classifications of diabetes. Most of the people in the United States that have diabetes have type 2 diabetes. It used to be called adult onset diabetes.
The less common form is type 1 diabetes, which is naturally occurring. Type 1 is an autoimmune disorder which used to be called juvenile diabetes, since it's most often diagnosed in children and young adults.
The difference between the types of diabetes, type 1 diabetes is a situation where the pancreas no longer is making any insulin at all.
Unlike type 1, type 2 develops slowly over time when the body stops managing insulin correctly.
Type 2 diabetes is a combination of someone not using their insulin efficiently or not making enough of insulin.
A notable difference is that unlike type 1, type 2 diabetes can be averted with some changes in lifestyle. Stan Hillman learned the hard way after he was diagnosed with type 2.
And I guess I brought it upon myself by eating the wrong stuff and never thinking that this would catch up with you. But it does, it catches up with anybody.
Risk factors include excess body weight, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, low activity, metabolic syndrome, and age. The wake-up call made Stan reevaluate his lifestyle.
Diet and exercise, those are the things that are going to make it go for the long run. I stay away from sweets, totally.
Left untreated, either type can lead to serious complications like cardiovascular disease and stroke. Diabetes educators are available through Lee Health Solutions to help you take control of your life. For Lee Memorial Health System, I'm Amy Osher.
There are many risk factors and environmental factors that can contribute to the development of diabetes, many of which we can control and a few that are out of our control. Ways we can reduce our risk of developing diabetes are keeping a healthy body weight, eating a healthy, well-balanced diet that's high in fruits and vegetables and lean proteins, and low in refined sugars, starches, and fats. We can also reduce our risk of developing diabetes by participating in at least 30 minutes of physical activity a day, improving our quality of sleep by sleeping at least 7 to 9 hours a night, and avoiding smoking and alcohol as much as possible. Factors in our life that are out of our control that can contribute to diabetes are age and genetics. Patients of an age over 40 years old and having a family history of diabetes are more likely to develop the disease than those without these characteristics. There are also chemicals within our environment that have been found to increase our risk of developing diabetes. Researchers at Stanford University conducted a study on environmental factors affecting diabetes across a wide population and found that a large amount of pollutants in the environment, such as pesticides and PCPs, can lead to the development of diabetes.
Even though it may not be spoken about often, Millions of people in the United States are diagnosed with diabetes every year, and the numbers will continue to increase. According to the American Diabetes Association, around 1.5 million people are diagnosed with diabetes just in the United States each year. Almost 10% of our current population is made up of those who have diabetes, and part of that percentage are those who may not even know that they have diabetes. With this comes a cost. With the price of medication for those who have diabetes, it can be extremely expensive. And another thing that is rarely talked about is deaths due to diabetes. The American Diabetes Association mentions that diabetes is the 7th leading cause of death, but it is never really mentioned. The study of the pancreas is what led diabetes itself to be discovered. Dating back to 1889, there was an experiment done on animals when they had their pancreas removed. When paying attention to what was happening to the animals, it was discovered that they were developing many of the symptoms that today we know are associated with diabetes. This later allowed Sir Edward Albert in 1910 to come to the discovery that these symptoms were coming from not having insulin in the bodies of the animals. With this information, scientists were able to run tests in 1921 to find that taking pancreatic islets, which hold the hormone that create insulin, from healthy dogs and putting it in dogs lacking insulin stopped their symptoms of diabetes. This came to a final discovery in 1922 of help for those who struggle with diabetes, especially for Leonard Thompson, who was the first person to receive this treatment, who completely proved that this treatment could work.
I'm here with my friend Lizzie. She has type 1 diabetes. Lizzie, tell us a bit about that.
I've been diabetic for 10 years, so just kind of something that's become routine and that I'm used to, daily part of my life.
And what kind of aspects of your routine have changed compared to those of someone without diabetes?
I have to be a lot more conscious of what I'm eating. I have to know the carbohydrates and everything and the different sugars and how the different foods can affect me. I just have to be conscious of my blood sugar, test my blood sugar daily, and make sure I take insulin to cover everything that I'm eating.
And then when talking about the eating standpoints, what kind of dietary restrictions are there for those who have diabetes?
There's not necessarily dietary restrictions. A lot of diabetics are gluten-free, but other than that, you just have to be conscious of what you're eating. And for me personally, there's different foods that affect me and make my blood sugar go really high, like any type of pasta or pretzels or anything that's generally really high carb, and types of juices as well.
When you go to get a checkup, so to say, go see a doctor, who do you go to see for that?
Every 3 months, I go to an endocrinologist who deals directly with the endocrine system. So I get my hemoglobin A1C, which is an average of my blood sugar over those 3 months. Talk about different plans in order to get the best treatment possible.
All right. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.